What's going on, beautiful people? Jose here. Let's raise our vibrations high and live our life in an upward spiral. Today, we're going to talk about boundaries. So, real quick, I'm going to give you a rundown of why it's important to have boundaries, but make sure you watch the whole video. So, it's important to have boundaries because in any interaction, you want it to be 50-50. You don't want to be reacting to people all the time, right? You want to be able to establish who you are and have your essence out there. Just show people who you are, what you're about. So if we don't have any boundaries, we're just gonna be, like I like to say, this leaf in the wind just floating around, and we're just letting life happen to us. So instead of doing that, let's take our power back. Let's have some boundaries, establish what's important to us, so that way these interactions are gonna go more 50-50. So we're going to talk about what are boundaries, what happens when we don't have them, some things that hold us back from having boundaries, and the benefits. So what are boundaries? Boundaries are going to help us define what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And this is in terms of people's words, what people say to us, but also their actions. We're going to have different boundaries with different people. For example, my boundaries with my mother are going to be different than the boundaries I have with my coworker. Also, boundaries are going to change over time. So, as our relationships progress, as they evolve, so are boundaries. However, just make sure that you always have some kind of boundaries, because if you don't have any boundaries at all, you're just going to get lost in a relationship or in another person or a situation that you didn't really want to be in. Oftentimes, we think that boundaries are pushing us away from people or that we're not allowing people to get close to us. However, this is not the case. Instead, it's going to show people that you respect yourself, that you value your time, that you're able to say no to the things that you don't want to, things that are not meant for you, things that are not serving you. When you have boundaries, you're not going to give in to things that you don't want to do. You're going to know what's your responsibility and what's not your responsibility. So the reason boundaries are not going to keep us away from people is because it's actually going to help keep the people and interactions that are healthy for us into our life. We're not a yes man or a yes woman. We only say yes to the things that we know is our responsibility, things that are good for us, things that are going to nurture us, that are going to make us happy and vibrant. I want to give you a little personal example of what not having boundaries can do to you. I'm a nurse, so let's say I got called into work every day that I'm off. They're calling me, they're saying, Jose, we need you. And I'm like scared to say no. So I go and I show up to work every day that I'm supposed to be off. What that's going to do is it's going to cause me to burn out. My health is going to decline. I'm not going to be able to show up to take care of these patients the way I should be with all the energy, because I need my rest as well. But because I was not able to say no, my energy is low, my health is declining, I'm not able to do a good job. So this is an example of why it's important to set boundaries and to be able to say no when you have to. So let's talk about what happens when we don't have any boundaries. We're basically at the mercy of life. So we're just letting life happen to us. We are giving our power away. Basically, however people treat us, it's okay with us, because we don't have any expectations of how they should treat us. So when you don't have boundaries, you're giving your power away. You're just willing to take anything that happens to you. You're more concerned about others. You're more concerned about their feelings instead of yours. Once again, this is giving your power away. We're going to lose ourselves to situations, and also we're going to lose ourselves to people. We're going to be saying yes to the things that we really want to say no to. We are scared to say no. It's easier for people to come to us and basically assert their willpower. Any interaction should be 50-50. So you don't want to be at the effect of things. You want to be at the cause, or, like I said, at minimum 50-50. So when we don't have boundaries, we're more concerned about other people instead of being concerned about us. And in this scenario, it's going to be easy to lose ourselves. We're going to have no sense of self. And this is very bad, especially in relationships, with close relationships, romantic relationships, because you're gonna lose yourself to the other person. You're gonna stop being you. You're gonna stop doing the things that you want to do, saying the things that you should, and once again, it's just losing yourself. So no boundaries means you basically dissolve with whatever environment you're in. You're camouflage. You're not even there. Why is it that we don't have boundaries sometimes? One of the biggest reasons is that we want to please people. We're people pleasers, and we're more concerned about what the other person wants, about their emotions, making sure that they feel good. But then we put ourselves second. We ignore ourselves. It's like, Jose, be quiet. What is it that this person wants? Let me go please them. Let me go see what they want, right? And so in that sense, we have no boundaries because we're more willing to do whatever the other person wants, and even if it means that we don't want to do it. Another reason that sometimes we don't have boundaries, and I think this is a big one, is because of the way we were raised, the way we were brought up. Let's say you were brought up as a child who was always told to shut up, who wasn't able to express themselves. This is going to carry on to when you're older, because now that you're older, you're going to think the same way. You're going to not speak up because a long time ago they told you to shut up. So you're going to think that you need to be quiet, that you need to act appropriately, and that your opinion doesn't matter. Whatever you say doesn't matter. Therefore, you have no boundaries. You're just going to let anything happen. In romantic relationships, sometimes we become attached to the outcome. We want this person to be with us so bad that we're willing to do anything. So we're going to put ourselves second. We're going to sacrifice ourselves in order to make that person happy. Other times, we're so infatuated with that person that we completely miss all the red flags because we are so in love with them, or the lust is so strong that we're not able to see clearly, and we're just like, you know what, forget everything. Once again, we're just attached to the outcome. We're like, I just want to be with that person. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to put myself second. I'm going to put my needs second. I'm going to put anything. Like, I'm going to stop going to the gym just so I can hang out with this person. And that's not healthy. Healthy boundaries means putting yourself first, taking care of yourself first. If you don't take care of yourself first, then you're not really fit to take care of someone else. If you're feeling like you are responsible for the way people think and feel, I want to remind you that they're on their own journey. That's their journey, and you're on your own. So focus on your journey and not the one of others. Let them have their own boundaries, but you gotta have yours first. Having boundaries is gonna allow you to be more of yourself, more of who you are. You're gonna be able to establish your presence. People are gonna know who you are because you carry yourself throughout life in a certain way. You're also gonna attract situations and people that are vibing on the same level as you, because whenever you say no to something that's not for you, now you have more room for things that are in your same frequency, in your same vibration. Setting a boundary means loving yourself. It means putting yourself first, your needs and your desires. And there's nothing wrong with that, because then you're going to be more energized and happy. So listen to yourself. If you don't want to do something, don't do it, because then your vibe is going to be off. You're not going to do as good as a job as you would if you wanted to do it. And so the whole situation is just going to go down, because let's say if I'm going to go play basketball but I don't really want to, I'm just going because my friend is suggesting we do, I'm going to be there and I'm just not going to have the energy to play. So just think of it that way. It's like, if you don't want to do something, truly don't do it, because you're not going to give your best effort. You're not going to put your best foot forward. Also, when we have boundaries, we're not going to be taken advantage of. We're going to be like, no, this is not for me. That's not what I want. I'm sorry, but this is not what I want. Because if you're doing something for others, it's just going to drain your energy little by little. You might not realize it at first, but throughout time, eventually, you're just going to be feeling tired, and you're going to be like, well, why is it? And it's because you've been doing something that you didn't really want to do all along. Just to recap, what is a boundary? They define what we accept and reject in interactions. We're obviously going to accept things that are respectful of us, things that make us happy. We're going to reject things that are disrespectful to us, things that don't make us happy, things that don't serve us. Boundaries are going to change depending on the person. So my boundaries are different with my coworkers than they are with my mother. And over time, boundaries can change. So as our relationships evolve, so do boundaries. When we don't have boundaries, what happens? We give our power away. So remember, our antenna is more geared towards outwards. So we're caring more about other people's feelings, the way they feel. We want to make them feel better, even if it's at the cost of our feelings. We do things that we don't want to, and because of this, chances are we're gonna get taken advantage of, or feel like we've been taken advantage of, because we may start doing something that we didn't really want to do, and then at the end we're really gonna hate it, and then we're gonna be like, this person took advantage of me. But it's not so much that they took advantage of you, it's just that you were not able to say no. Why we don't have boundaries? We don't have boundaries because we're people pleasing, because we want people to like us, so we don't say no to them. They ask us for something, even if we can't do it, we'll not go to the gym, and then we'll help them do that, for example. So we're people pleasing also because we're attached to the outcome. So if we want somebody to love us, right, sometimes we put ourselves second, same as the first one, right? We're people pleasing. And it also has to do with your childhood. So the way you were raised, if you were told to be quiet as a kid, if you were told that your opinion doesn't matter, chances are you're not going to be able to set healthy boundaries as an adult, or you're just going to have a harder time. And why have boundaries? Because it's going to attract healthy interactions and relationships. So by saying no to certain things, then that leaves room for things that are in your vibration, things that you do want in your life. And it's loving yourself, because you're putting your needs first. You got to take care of yourself first before you're able to take care of others. And also, you got to be able to love yourself first, fully, right, before you love someone else. Because otherwise, that person might go away one day, and then you're going to be left alone, and you're going to feel like crap because you never loved yourself to begin with. Just a little FYI. And then you're going to have more energy, because if you're loving yourself and you're doing things that are making you happy, you're going to vibe higher, and you're going to have more to offer. So it's also going to help you to be you, because of all the things I said just now, right? Because you're going to say yes to things that you know make you happy. You're going to say no to things that don't serve you. So ultimately, having boundaries is going to not only define the things that you accept and reject, but it's also going to help define you and the way you present and show up to others. If you're struggling with a situation, I hope this was able to help you. I hope this can empower you. Remember, it's okay to say no to people. You don't have to say yes to everyone. Everyone is on their journey. You're not responsible for other people's feelings. You are, like, the way you treat them, but it's not up to you to make someone happy. It's up to them. And remember, it's okay to put yourself first, because if you don't put yourself first, no one else will. And if you put someone else first before you and you second, this person might not be there one day. And all this time you've been putting yourself second, and then they go away. That means you wasted all that energy on someone else, and you're still left here second. And what if somebody else comes? Are you going to do the same thing, repeat the same thing all over again? You'll always be second. So make sure you put yourself first, so that you're able to offer more to people, so that you're able to vibe higher, so that you're a happier person, so that you attract things in your life that you do want, things that serve you and are in alignment with your desires. If you're going through a situation where you feel a little powerless, I hope this was able to give you some of your power back. As always, much love and peace. Till next time.